Hey, good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm your host, BKP. I have the desk all spread out here. We are going to do part 3 today. Part 3 is Judge Brenda Weaver, court reporter Rhonda Stubblefield, District Attorney B. Allison Sosby, publisher Mark Thomason, and attorney Russell Stuckey. We have everything laid out. We're going to get into it and go through it one by one, step by step. I'm not on. You are not over there. I don't have volume. You have volume. Lonnie's in here. He's got the volume on his computer and he's pointing to me. You don't say my bad very loud. Lonnie's over there. Anyhow, here's what we're going to do real quick. Just so you know, we have made some changes every day when you come to this show. When we come on, expect some changes, some things going in a different direction. We have made it much easier for you to find us, okay? We do not want to, we don't want to tell you not to go to fetchyournews.com. You want to go to fetchyournews.com on a daily basis to get all the information that is out there that we post. But to find our shows, you can tell all of your friends fyntv.com. That's it, fyntv.com. You click that, you're here. Now, if you're looking for us on Facebook, throw up our Facebook, fetchyournews.com. Throw that up there. And over here, as you will see, you can find our Facebook logo right there. You see that right there? I'm getting used to this. I'm not I do not go left very well, Lonnie. I have always had a problem going left, okay? But Facebook, go to fetchyournews.com and right at the top there, you'll find Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and our YouTube right there. Later in the day, you're saying, how can I find the videos? How can I find all of the clips of the Scott Farrell Show, all the clips of Good Morning from the Office, all these great interviews? How do I find those? Right here. Our YouTube channel, Twitter, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. There you go, fetchyournews.com. But we have made it so easy. Now, if you want to find us on Fetch Your News, you see, I don't even know where I'm at here. Where am I at? Where am I at? You see, I'm in front of it now. Right there. FYN-TV. That's all you find. I don't know where I'm at on the screen, Lonnie. I could have went like this.
Yes, you could have.
Oh, I could go like that?
You don't always have to turn.
You mean I'm doing this on live TV and people understand that I don't have to always just go backwards? I go backwards. Anyhow, folks, we're making it every day easier for you to find us, fyntv.com. We have a lot of fun here. I want to tell you, Joey the Dragon, you know who you are. Always love when I get a message from Joey the Dragon. And Joey the Dragon sent me a message that said, will you guys be doing Pickens Power Half Hour again this year? Yes, Joey. Next week, starting Monday night, Pickens Power Half Hour. It will be down to Schottenkirk Ford at 7 o'clock, fyntv.com. We'll have Coach Parker and some of the players. Tuesday night, we'll be over here at Circuit World at 7 o'clock with the Gilmer head coach, Coach Galt, and several of the players, the Bobcat players. And on Wednesday night, we'll be at Circuit World in Fannin County up there with Coach Pavo with the Rebels and several of their players. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, you go to fyntv.com and we'll be updating you on high school football. That's coming tomorrow night. I know you say already? Yes, exciting. Tomorrow night, high school football all around Georgia is starting. One more thing we want to bring up. On Monday morning, this coming week, on Monday morning, we'll be going to 8:30. Every Monday morning, we'll be doing our show. It's coming back this year. Monday morning quarterback from 8:30 to 9. Tuesday at 8:30 will be Carla's Corner. And Wednesday at 8:30 will be Health and Fitness with Carlene Ferguson. So that's what we got lined up. I'm going to take a brief break. I wanted to tell you, now what about the swimmers that they pulled out of the line to come back home from Rio? Do you think like the government there in Brazil figured out that we'll pay like $400 million ransom money to get them back or something? Please tell me the State Department's not handling this. Please tell me the State Department's not handling this. That would be a real disaster. And what about the guy, what's the swimmer that's home? Does anybody know what's his name again? The one that made it home?
Ryan.
What's his name?
Lockie.
Lockie?
Yeah.
Right, Lockie, yeah.
Yeah, he's back home in North Carolina.
He's back home in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
He can't remember, folks. Let me explain this to you, and I'm not going to tell you how I know. He can't remember exactly where the gun was pointed at him.
He said that eventually to his head, and then eventually it was said he told reporters that it was pointed just towards him generally.
Right, but he started out that it was pointed at his head.
Yeah, that's what he told the Today Show. He said it
Right.
was pointed at his head. Then now he's saying a different story.
Now he's telling a different story.
Yep.
Folks, when somebody points a gun at your head,
You remember it.
Cole's all over this. You remember it, don't you, Cole? You don't forget it.
No.
Yeah, folks, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. At 9 o'clock, we are going to have an interview with Jennifer Hazelton. Jennifer Hazelton is the Georgia Communications Director for the Donald Trump campaign. She's going to be giving us some insight of what's going on in Georgia and what's going on within the campaign nationally. So Jennifer Hazelton is going to be here with us at 9 o'clock. And then about 9:20, Georgia's going to come in, and we are going to get into the national issues going on. We hope we find out it really is. It was ransom. It was ransom. You know, the sad thing in this country is the President of the United States, the State Department's a mess. We paid ransom to get 4 people back, 4 hostages. We paid $400 million in ransom, okay? And since we got the 4 back, the hostages from Iran, the government of Iran has taken 3 more Americans hostage. There's 3 more hostage in Iran. And the only thing you and I can hope for is the movie to come out. That's it. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We're going to give you time. We're going to take a brief commercial break. We're going to give you time for part 3. And we have everything laid out, ready to go. We'll be back after these brief messages. I'm your host, BKP. Take us to break.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine.
El Rey.
El Rey and Ellijay.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $5 flavor menu. Just $5 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium 1-topping pizza. Yes to Wing Street Wings. Yes to new stuffed garlic knots. And much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $5 flavor menu. Only at Pizza Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
The 50-50 sale is back at Schottenkirk Ford. 50 trucks must go in the next 50 hours. Shop over 250 trucks in stock and starting as low as $79.95. And there's several more on the lot just like it. Yes, 50 trucks must go, and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. You have 50 hours to cash in on huge savings. Don't miss our 50-50 sales event at Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
While the best athletes gather to compete, the rest of us gather to eat. Pizza Hut's Big Flavor Dipper is here. Almost 2 feet of pizza with 4 flavorful dipping sauces. Big enough to feed the whole team for a small price, just $12.99. The Big Flavor Dipper Pizza, only at Pizza Hut.
The summer sell-down is on at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. And if you like to save, the time is now. Get a brand new Chevy Malibu for just $19,700. Loaded Silverado Crew Cab LT, just $33,500. Or a new 2017 Equinox from just $23,700. Days has bonus savings on every new Chevy. But time is running out. Don't miss the summer sell-down at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Okay, good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. I am BKP, your host. Remember, I told you all you have to do now is tell your friends to go to fyntv.com. That's it, fyntv.com. You can find us there. Now, we started part 1 and part 2, and I just want to let you know we are not going to be able to go backwards. Okay, we're not, let me make sure I have my audio on. We're not going to be able to go backwards and do everything that we've done. So you can find part 1 and part 2 of this story. So you can follow along with it. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Okay, and Cole, let's make sure it's named part 1 and part 2. I think part 2 is named, but I don't know if part 1 has that in front of it. Just so people can look, okay? So we'll make sure it says that, but you can find that on our YouTube channel. Now, we have some documents that we're putting up here, all right? We have some documents, leave that there. We have that. Let's go to the next one. We worked on that one last time, so we're going to go and we're going to start on the next one, and then I'm going to give you an update of where we're at. Okay? Now, the reason we're doing this is because, first of all, as I've been saying in every segment, we cannot allow the fact on whether you like an individual, dislike an individual, what you think of somebody, to get in the way of the truth. Okay? So if you dislike Judge Brenda Weaver, she's a public official, you could do that. If you dislike your district attorney, you can do that. But we can't let that get in the way of the truth. And we've seen other media in larger markets just come into North Georgia, pick and choose a couple of things, and go home and write these stories and not go through anything. Now, they say they have. One media outlet put up the other day that Judge Brenda Weaver had a federal subpoena that was issued to her. Judge Brenda Weaver's office spoke to him yesterday. They confirmed, Judge Brenda Weaver confirmed there is no federal subpoena. Okay? Pretty simple. One media outlet said in one sentence, basically, I'm not going to quote here, I don't want a problem, said that they went through all the checks. Remember, we have all the checks. They said they went through every single check, and they couldn't find anything inappropriate. Couldn't find it. They could not find anything inappropriate. They said that basically. That's not a quote, but that's what they said in one sentence. So basically, they can't find the check that was illegally cashed. They can't find any of that. So what they did is they said, well, since we're doing it, what we'll do is we'll go through all of the judge's expenditures and we'll just write them all up to make it look like this judge spends so much money. It is a lot of money. I'll agree. But why don't you do the research for every judicial circuit in the state of Georgia if you're going to do this one and find out? Now, that being said, quick summary. N-word. We won't go backwards. The N-word was said. When was the N-word said? The N-word was said during Robert Vivian's Robert Vivian hearing, which Robert Vivian is now serving 9 or 10 years in prison on that day. Judge Bradley said the N-word. We know that. And we know who lit the candle, because I'm going to look at you, the camera. I remember the day that County Attorney Lindos called me personally and said, "You'll never guess what happened today in court." So we know who lit the candle that got this whole thing started and kept pushing this ball until this thing is this big today. That is County Attorney Lindos. Now, real quick, remember, this is the summary before we get into the petition here. The summary is the indictment is for identity fraud, attempt to commit identity fraud, and making a false statement. Somebody said the other day, all of this may be true, but it still didn't mean that they should have been put in jail, okay? That's an issue in itself, I will say. Here's the question on the subpoena. This is from, remember, the bank's attorney, Stearns Bank, Avery S. Jackson. As we discussed this morning, the bank received a call from Mr. Stuckey's office this morning requesting the password for the CD that was produced. I have asked Mr. Stuckey's office to provide proof that the customer was provided notice of the subpoena. Okay? So they were not able, Mr. Stuckey, they were not able to provide the bank proof that Brenda Weaver, Judge Brenda Weaver, received a copy of the subpoena knowing her bank records were going to be looked at. So we know that is a fact, didn't happen, okay? We know that the subpoena that we brought up, we look at here, so I'm going to explain what the final order on petitioner's complaint. I'm going to tell you what that is. That's where we're going to start here in just a minute. We know that the subpoena for Judge Martha Christian, which was the judge in the case, Stearns Bank, that was made, okay, June 16th, and bring to court. They wanted to bring to court on June 16th, okay? They wanted to bring to court on June 16th bank records for the Fannin Focus and Russell Stuckey and Rhonda Stubblefield case, all right? They wanted to bring it so they could prove to Judge Christian that Judge Brenda Weaver approved the payment for Rhonda Stubblefield's attorney's fees. That's what they want to do. That's a subpoena. But then we learned, that was on the 16th, then we learned that, after 3 days after this, my understanding is that they wanted the password. So they were not trying to get the bank records for this case. That's important, but we'll gloss over that. Then we go over here and we have all of 4, 5, and 6. Remember, Mr. Thomason sent all of these oral requests to Judge Brenda Weaver wanting all of these different records, and then brought up the word settlement. Now, we'll talk about settlement at a later time, because there was not a settlement in the Stubblefield case. You need to understand, there was no settlement. There was attorney's fees. The attorney said, I want X. It wasn't a settlement. It's your bill. Okay? ETC, Georgia Power, TDS, other people, they send you a bill every month. They don't send you a settlement. It doesn't say at the top, this is your settlement. So I have the attorney's bill right here in just a minute, okay? So we have all these here where he's asking the judge, hey, send me these records, or send me proof you paid. She is saying the court is not subject to open records. The same Open Records Act, there is truth to that. If you don't like what you're hearing, change it. Call your representative. Call David Ralston. Call Gutler, Matt Gutler. He's the new representative in the 8th District. I name him one. Call Josh McCoon. Call Steve Gooch. And tell him you don't like that. I have no problem with that. That's how the system works. Call them today and say, I don't like that the court is not subject to open records. Tell them. I will support you on that. But as it stands, that's not Judge Brenda Weaver's decision. That is the state of Georgia, the court system all across the state. So she's telling Mark Thomason that they're not subject to open records. That's 4, 5, and 6. Now up here on 7, Mark sends the email and a couple keywords. We're getting up to where we're at here. At 7, thanks for getting the last request. He sends this Mark Thomason sends this to Rita Kirby. Thanks for getting the last request from me. One more and I'll leave you alone for a while. I need a copy of an email or other correspondence between Judge Weaver and Fannin County where the judge may be petitioning Fannin County, she's not petitioning, Fannin County to pay for a portion of Rhonda Stubblefield's attorney fees. Now, a portion, because some media outlets are continuing to lead people that Judge Bradley's operating account paid all of Rhonda Stubblefield's attorney fees. Not true. Paid a portion of Rhonda Stubblefield's attorney fees in the case that was filed against Fannin Focus. No, it wasn't filed against Fannin Focus. This is not what was paid. There was a suit filed against the Fannin Focus, a defamation of character suit. It was totally separate. This is the case that Mark Thomason brought against her. The media will not clear that up, that the case was brought against the court reporter. Period. Okay. Supposedly Weaver asked Fannin, Gilmer, and Pickens to divide the cost among the 3 counties. Never happened. Never happened, folks. We got the facts. Okay. Real quick, remember this one. We're almost there. This is Mark Thomason. We're trying to figure out. Here's what somebody told me. This is after part 2. They watched part 2. They sent this to me, and I'm going to answer the question that was sent to me. Morning. This is Mark Thomason to Rita Kirby Davis. Rita Davis Kirby, and she is the CEO of Fannin County. Morning. I spoke with Lynn Doss late yesterday, and she assured me, assured me, that all records surrounding Judge Weaver and Bradley's use of funds for attorneys are open record. Now, before we end our series, it won't be today, I will show you an email where County Attorney Lynn Doss tells me a different story. Shocked by that? Are open to records. Being that, I would like to request a copy of all emails between the Superior Court office employees or judges and Fannin County Commissioner's office. From what he gathers, this is coming from the county attorney, Lynn Doss, from what I gather from the county attorney, there are at least a few emails where the funds are disclosed. Now, I brought that to task that she was his informant. Now, I'm going to use some names because the only way, I hope I don't get Phil Lanthrum's name wrong. I hope that's his name down there in Pickens County. I know David Clark over here, the county attorney for Gilmer. Start calling county attorneys. Now, I have been banging on the door. You call over here at Gilmer County. You call J.C. Sanford. You call the Board of Education. Okay, you call Board of Education members in Gilmer. I've been banging on their door for 6 years as hard as I can bang. And you call over there, hey, Mr. Clark, I need some information. I can't answer that, Mr. Pritchard. I can't answer that. Go see if any other county attorney, I had an email that sent to me saying, oh, it's not uncommon for journalists to have sources. Folks, your source cannot be your attorney. That can't be your source. Period. Against your client. Now, I have sources. People call me all day long and they tell me things. I have sources. But your source cannot be the county attorney against their own client. That's what he's implying here, is the county attorney is his source against her own client. All right, let's move on. Number 9. Now, here's where we're going to get into the Rhonda Stubblefield case. All right? I'm going to go real quick. We have a copy of this. We're not putting it up yet, so don't get... This is the check for Rhonda Stubblefield from the Superior Court Judge account, Roger Bradley. Now, what you need to keep in mind, this is Judge Roger Bradley's operating account. So at the time, Mark Thomason sending these open records requests for the checks from Brenda Weaver, Judge, Your Honor, Judge Weaver does not have this check. It doesn't matter how many open records he sends to her and tries to go into her bank accounts. Hers. Why are you going into hers? I don't care you go in. But why? Because you're not getting this check. And see, the county attorney, your source, knows that. Because her husband used to be a Superior Court judge until his JQC investigation and until he retired or resigned from the bench based on the spending questions, the questioning around his operating account expenditures. Interesting. We'll go there one day later. But your source knows that this check is not in Brenda Weaver's operating account. So there you go. Anyhow, we have that check. Now, the Fannin Focus cannot accept that the N-word was not altered from the transcript. So they go to Judge Martha Christian and they file a lawsuit. This is very, very important, folks. This is what we're going to focus on for the rest of our day, basically until 9 o'clock, until we have our interview with Jennifer Hazelton, the communications director for the Trump campaign in Georgia, will be with us at 9 o'clock. Now, all the media outlets are trying to, and when I say all, I've not read really any that are not, this paragraph is really bugging me because they continue to lead you, the viewer, the information. We are a conduit of the journalists. You hear Trump talk about crooked media? The journalist and the media is supposed to be a clear, truthful conduit to the citizens. That's our role. Not to paint pictures, okay? Period. Here's the thing. The media keeps putting these paragraphs together, wanting you to believe that Judge Christian dismissed this case and it caused Rhonda Stubblefield to dismiss her case. Didn't happen, folks. Didn't happen. But if you're out there reading, you are led to believe by some journalists that this case that Mark Thomason, the Fannin Focus publisher, brought against Rhonda Stubblefield, he brought the case, okay, against Rhonda Stubblefield, that it was dismissed. No, it wasn't. And then you're led to believe that this case right here by Rhonda Stubblefield for defamation of character, and we don't have time to go into all of the things he wrote about her, that she filed, was dismissed like there was a deal. Didn't happen. Now, we're going to clear that up for you. Court reporter submits a transcript. When the transcript is done, there's no time. You can have a transcript that takes 4 weeks to get filed in the clerk's office. It might be big. You might have a court week. I'm breaking this down for a reason, because you have a court calendar and you might have 4 days of court. Okay? And then after the court calendar goes into recess to prepare for the next court calendar, you have these court reporters, I think I have it right, you have them putting all the transcripts together, and then they do have to file them. There are cases where there's children, there are cases where the judge is allowed to seal the transcript. They're allowed to. But if it's not sealed, the court reporters could be 3 weeks after the case closes, 2 weeks. It's not a defined time, 100%. They file the transcript. Then you, the citizens, could go pull a case. When a case is closed or going on, you can go pull a case and you can sit up there all day long and read the transcripts. But this individual, Mark Thomason, felt the transcript had been altered. Now, so he files a lawsuit. Let me show you this real quick. You see this right here? That is one deposition. Do you see that? That is a court reporter's deposition. Okay? So, that brings us to the case that was filed. You can see on the screen here, okay? And I'm going to back away so you can see this. On May 8, 2015, petitioner filed a complaint for an injunctive relief pursuant to Georgia Open Records Act. Rhonda Stubblefield filed her answer, defense's counterclaim, on May 22nd of 2015. Respondent filed defendant Rhonda Stubblefield's motion to strike. All right? Now, here is the ruling. This is what happened. In the issue, this is the finding of the court. After this, this is Fannin Focus at the top, you can see Fannin Focus and Mark Thomason, the publisher, versus Rhonda Stubblefield. Here is the finding from Judge Martha Christian. Can you scroll to the bottom, or is that just the way you have it cut? Scroll to the bottom there. Go to the findings. Stop right there. Findings of the facts. Okay? And, see that? That's called finding of the facts. I know some journalists are confused with that finding of the facts. At issue, here is whether respondent must release petitioner the audio recording what transpired in open court on March 16, 2015 in Georgia Robert Vivian case. Robert Vivian serving 10 years in prison now, okay? Robert Vivian case, Superior Court of Fannin County on April 13, 2015. A certified transcript, okay, of the proceeding was filed by the respondent in the Vivian criminal matter. That transcript is presumed to be accurate and correct. Accurate and correct. A bare allegation. A bare allegation. You just can't go say, hey, I don't think it sounded right. Hey, I don't think that was correct. Hey, did you hear something different? Hey, I think I heard this. A bear. This is the judge saying this, not a grizzly bear, damn it. I'm sorry, I'll calm down, okay? Cole, keep me in line over there. That's your job. Do your job, Cole. All right, a bare allegation that the transcript is not correct is not enough to require a release of an audio recording. Hey, I think it didn't say that. I want your audio. I have a guy in the back. I got all these guys in the back of a Robert Vivian case, and we know the characters that were in the courtroom that day, weren't we? They think they heard this deputy say, N. Ray. They think they heard this deputy. A bare, this is from the judge, okay? A bare allegation that the transcript is not correct is not enough to require a release of the audio recording. Now, before I go any further, everybody keeps saying, yes, but what's that got to do with throwing the guy's ass in jail? I'll tell you what it's got to do with it. Because if the county attorney that pushed this ball wouldn't have kept pushing it, we would not be here today. I wouldn't have this great story either. Anyhow, bare allegation. This is what's written, okay? This is what's written. It's not enough. You can't just say, I think I heard different and asked for it, okay? At the hearing on July 14, petitioner did not present any evidence that the transcript was not accurate and complete. He didn't present any evidence. The judge said it, I didn't say it. Now, let's go to the conclusions. Scroll me down to the conclusions, okay? We're going to read the conclusions right here. Is that the conclusions?
Findings of fact and conclusions of law.
No. Conclusions on the last page. Do I have a last page? Do I go to another page here, Lonnie? There you go. Scroll up. What's that one? There you go. Conclusions. Now, let's get to the conclusions of this case. Let's stay focused on this one here. This is the one where they said, oh, I think I heard the N-word over here. I think I heard the N-word over here, okay? Okay, here we go. Conclusions. The court must decide this case on admissible evidence. Well, hell, there's a novel idea. Look at these transcripts. That's a novel idea, admissible evidence. Let's not go any further, right? The court must decide this case on admissible evidence, not innuendo. Can you see that there? Not innuendo, speculation, gossip. Hell, in Fannin County, not possible. Bare allegations, the poor perception of spectators, or biased statements of interested deponents. Now, I'm going to break each one down. Let me get some names to it. You want some names to it? The court only can decide on admissible evidence. Not innuendo. Innuendo. This is the judge writing this, Martha Christian. Not speculation. Gossip. Why, heck, it wasn't even till that afternoon that Miss Doss was on the phone with everybody. telling everybody, you'll never believe what happened in court today. Okay? Gossip, bare allegations. Well, I heard 2 deputies in the back said it also. They whispered it. This is what this has cost. This is what it's cost, folks. Cost. Bare allegations, okay? The poor perception of spectators or biased statements of interested people. Do you know how many people in there were interested? Because we're going to talk about elections. We're going to talk about people that were running against people. People that thought, this has got, this could help me. Robert Vivian, this could help me. This could help my case. You know what I mean? They were interested parties. So that is what we got. This is the conclusion. Let me finish up. This is Judge Martha Christian. So, uniform, listen to this close. Interested. Court records are not subject to Georgia Open Records Act. For all of you out there that keep asking, for some of you at some of them major newspapers, for some of you at the national newspapers, for some of you legal people that keep writing your legal opinions, okay, for some of you professional journalists, all of you out there, it says here, this is the judge, don't call Brenda Weaver, don't call her, call Judge Martha Christian, judge her. She's a senior judge. She's a retired from Macon, right? She's a senior judge from Macon. Okay? Call her. It's not her first day. What does she say? Georgia Open Records Act. Court records are not subject to Georgia Open Records Act. Hell, you say? Hell, I can't believe that. Dear Mr. Thomason, my office received a voicemail on December 14th in which you stated you were making an oral open records request act. Obtain copies of emails, blah, 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 Board of Commissioners. The judicial branch is not subject to open records. Oh, if you read all the newspapers, Brenda Weaver is trying to hide something. Look, I told you earlier, if you don't like her, I don't care. But she's telling this guy, 4, 5, and 6, hey, I'm not subject to what you want. Here's another judge. Why don't we run her out of town? Why don't we ask for her resignation immediately? Oh, how much time I got? I got plenty of time. Okay, let me calm down here. Cole, if you don't keep me calm over there, you and I are going to have a problem. Quit grinning at me, okay? Look, court records are not subject to Georgia Open Records Act, but to Uniform Superior Court Rule 21. That was the suit to find out if Rhonda Stubblefield, court reporter, fell within the Rule 21 court rules of not subject to open records because she is a dedicated court reporter that was assigned to Judge Bradley. The audio and its transcript must be made available for public inspection. The certified transcript of March 16th, 15 hearing, that's the N-word, okay, in the Georgia State versus Vivian is presumed to be true, complete, correct record of what transpired during the hearing and the court's findings. The petitioner has not rebuted that presumption. Mark Thomason, Fannin Focus, has not showed anything to refute what she's saying. Now, stay with this sentence. Therefore, petitioner's complaint is hereby denied. See, capital letters. Can you see that at the bottom? Let me get out of the way. Denied. Do you see that right there? What's that say? Denied. In capital letters. It doesn't say dismissed. Do you see dismissed? I need help, friend. Do you see dismissed? All right, he don't see it. I don't see it. Do you see it? I don't see dismissed. I know journalists all over. They see dismissed. I see denied. It's denied. You lost the case. It wasn't dismissed. We didn't just throw it out. We didn't just come to an agreement. The judge said, you can't prove your case. This issue raised by respondents' counterclaim and motion for attorney's fees are reserved for future determination by the court. We will get into that sentence at a later time. So, this case that was brought before to Rhonda Stubblefield and is determined she did her job. I don't know her. I get tired of the emails. I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't know any of the court reporters. I'm not looking to know them. I just know the truth. And that's all you got to do is follow this. So she did her job. A judge said she did her job like she's doing it every day now. She's still... Now, here is something I want to show you. But Brenda Weaver used the taxpayers' money. The taxpayer. I keep hearing that. It's like there's this timeline. Everything started here because everybody says, what does this have to do with throwing them in jail? Well, guess what? You can't come up to throwing them in jail without starting here. If you don't start here, you can't get to here. But no, everybody in the media starts right here where they like it, not back here where it's not true. Okay, not back here. All I keep hearing, I go to place, I ran into a person in the grocery store. They said, what do you think about this judge spending our tax money? And I looked at the person, I said, whoa, wait a minute. Do you understand why the attorney fees were paid in the first place? It doesn't matter. It's my tax money and the judge just spent it. Whoa, black and white, folks. I put it right here, black and white. Thomason lost. He brought the case. Now let me tell you what Judge Christian did, because I was in the courtroom. I went every day. I heard everything. Everything in this case I heard. Let me tell you what Judge Christian did. She went over and above, giving them all the time they needed to find their witnesses. So when she says you can't just, you tried to get witnesses, it's a 3-page answer. You ought to read all 3 pages because she goes into detail of these phony depositions. So all I keep hearing is $15,691. Folks, if this Fannin Focus guy not being pushed by somebody, we'll leave that unnamed right now, let you guess who that might be. If this Fannin Focus guy does not file this check is never written. Never written. You don't write this check, taxpayers, because you have a judge that says, hey, you cannot say just bare allegations. You can't just say, hey, speculation. You can't do that. Can't do it. So this check is written, $15,000 to pay for this. Now what costs so much? $15,000. Oh my God, Clark and Clark getting rich off the taxpayer. They got my taxpayer money. Look, one folks, one deposition. And you know who this deposition this belongs to? Look at here. I don't have it on the screen. Fannin Focus versus Rhonda Stubblefield, Robert Vivian. Look at how thick this is. Do you know that the attorney, Mary Beth Priest, for Rhonda Stubblefield, had to sit in this deposition for what, 3 hours? 3 hours, 2 or 3 times, whatever, had to sit in here. This guy's in prison for 10 years. He got 30 years and 10 to serve. That's the depositions that you paid for, folks. You paid for this. You paid for gossip. You paid for innuendo. You paid for speculation. You paid for what Mark Thomason brought against the court reporter that the judge said, can't find anything wrong. You paid for that. You need to be clear what your tax money went for. A frivolous lawsuit. Now, let me get up to this here. Give me another screen. I don't even know what the next screen is, but put it up. Holy smokes, what is the next screen? I'm going to have to take a break in a minute. You got the next screen? That's cool if it's not.
You want to take a break?
No, I don't want to, but can you do it, or is it?
Yeah, we can take a break if you need to.
Is it clicking, catching, or you can't get the next sheet up?
I can get the next screen up.
No, I got a 9 o'clock, so let's get the next one up. Let's keep this candle lit. Ah, heck, it's already burning. Let's keep it going. All right, let's go to the next one. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now, that's not the next document.
What's the next document?
I don't know. You should have it over there.
We left off on that one, so the next one was, we left off on 14C, so the next one, mine was 15.
I don't have it over here. I got verses. Oh, okay. That's a civil action. Oh, you're right. I'm actually wrong here. It's on camera. Cole, I happen to be wrong. You understand?
Yeah.
If anybody else could actually out there in the world come up and say that they were wrong, right?
It's okay.
Is it okay? Can we move on?
Yeah.
Or will they wipe that face, you know, that whatever, Cole's a good kid. Okay, all right. This is what, it just took me a minute to calm down. Now, Rhonda Stubblefield sues Mark Thomason, Fannin Focus, okay, for the defamation of character, okay? She countersues him for defamation of character. This is it right here. Can you scroll down? Actually, that is, yeah, keep going. Keep going if you don't mind. Let's go to the next one. Is that the sheet or is there another one? Let's go to the next sheet. I think I need the next sheet.
Okay.
Go to the next sheet because I want to show something here before we get to 9 o'clock. It's 2 different lawsuits. Okay. Yeah, going down. Scroll down. And stop, go up a little bit. Okay, Rhonda Stubblefield, defendant Stubblefield's motions for attorney's fees, expenses are what she's asking for. Now let's go to statement of facts. Scroll down there a little bit. This is a whole separate case because, stop. Rhonda Stubblefield did not drop this case based on this being dismissed. Remember, this case was denied. Rhonda Stubblefield did not drop this case. Rhonda Stubblefield's counterclaim. Let's read this together. I'll back away so you can see it at home and I can get out of the picture. Rhonda Stubblefield's counterclaims have recently been dismissed due to what appears to be insolvent counterclaim defendant, not because Stubblefield's claim are without merit. Rather, the decision to file a dismissal was based upon financial and non-substantive reasons. Okay? Folks, they did the research for Mark Thomason, and we're not going to get into all of his finances. Okay? But they did the research on Mark Thomason. And she dropped this after they found, and it says, not because the claim here does not have merit. They're not dismissing this against the Fannin Focus, the defamation, because the claim doesn't have merit, because you should have seen all the things that he wrote about her, okay? So that's not happening. They're dismissing it based on their investigation of Thomason and his finances. We won't go into detail right now on that they're insolvent, and that upon financial and substantive reasons, that's 4 syllables, George will give me a hard time, that's why this got dismissed. You see, she couldn't find any money. She would have been paying court costs forever to try to get this through court and get money out of Thomason, because we're not going to go through all the sources that call me on a daily basis and the list of outstanding debt. So we're not going into his personal finances at this time. I'm not going to do that. But their research said, hey, this is useless. We could spend 10, 20, 30,000 in court, and when we get done, we don't get anything. Denied, dismissed. Big difference. Judge decided to deny this, not anybody else. She denied it. Wasn't a deal. Stubblefield decided to go away with this. Now, what's our next document? All right, go on up. Yeah, scroll up on that. This is just real quick to give you an idea. Okay? Go ahead, stay there. I'm learning I can go a different direction. Update. Judge releases audio. Go on up with that. Let's go scroll up a little bit. Update. Judge releases audio. Go to the next one. This is just an ideal. This kind of thing went on and on. She did not release the audio. Judge releases audio. Really? There's no question mark. There's no maybe. Judge authorizes illegal check. Now stop there, okay? Judge authorizes an illegal check. Okay? Question mark. Now, nice move. Question mark. Nice move. He's wanting to lead you, the citizens, his readers, to believe that this check is illegal. $15,691.43. And he wants you to believe that this check is illegal. And the judge authorized illegal check. Dun, dun, dun. Right? That's what the judge did. That's what he wants you to believe. And he wants his readers to believe. And he wants people to know. See, he doesn't write, judge authorized that payment. We'll get into that. After he doesn't take self-responsibility after I brought a frivolous lawsuit, after I cost the taxpayers money, do you know what it cost to do all these depositions? There was a half dozen of them. Thousands of dollars, hours of depositions were filed. This $15,000 bill, I'm not going to say it's good, but that's $15,000. I can explain to you. You call me 706-889-9700 and you email me, chief@fetchernews.com, and you say, I want details on break that $15,000 down. Because guess what? I got the breakdown. I have the breakdown of every dollar that was spent. Now, go to the next segment. We're going to have to quit. Folks, we have to quit at 9 o'clock on the dot and go to the next one. What? That's the last one I got. Stay there then. Let me wrap this up. Remember, Thomason claims he was looking for illegal checks. So I'm just going to wrap up a couple more things, okay? This was Thomason's email, and this is just a refresher here real quick. I think I'm up to right here. Mr. Jones, this is Robert Jones, Chairman of Pickens County Board of Commissioners. I want to begin by saying, whatever. That being said, I trust you will forward this to the proper department as open records under the Georgia Open Records Act. I need to request copies of the actual cleared checks front and back that Pickens County has written to Judge Brenda Weaver, Judge Roger Bradley for Pickens County's portion of the quarterly operating account expenses for the judges of 2013, 14, and 15. Currently, I am acquiring all the checks from all three counties in the circuit after reviewing only the checks within Fannin County. See, he's reviewed these. These are affirmative statements, a false statement. You listen to the witness audios on behalf of Fannin County for the 2015 year and finding that according to several banks, several is plural. Now it could be two or it could be, so several banks, not just one. Several banks, and I want those banks to come forward. Come forward. Several banks, okay, that some of the checks appear to have been deposited but cashed illegally. So let me get this straight. They deposit them, but the person on the other side said, here's the cash. Well, guess what? Now let's go find those tellers. Because you know what? They are making heyday out of the fact how many pens and pencils, and the Supreme Court justices in Georgia will do this on a different day, came to Georgia what was spent, but they're not looking for, why don't the media come up here with their money? I don't have the money. Why don't they come up there with all their deep pockets and get some investigators and look for the teller that toll marked this, huh? All right, for the 2015 illegal, I appreciate Pickens County cooperation. Now, couple quick things, we'll get done. I got 6 minutes. I can't say this enough. Between you and the judge, you take that up. I'm just trying to look at the facts. That's what's got me smoking as I read journalism. I see Donald Trump say one word on the campaign trail, and it is the top news story. Donald Trump gave 3 of the best speeches here in the last week anybody could give. Foreign policy, he went, did you see the optics yesterday in that security briefing with Giuliani and retired General Flynn? I mean, look at the people surrounding him. But no, that's not the news. It's his one-liners, okay? And that's what the media has done on this story, is one-liners. It was never hidden. We'll get into this in part 4. This letter came from Appalachian Judicial Circuit. Judge Brenda Weaver, Mr. Robert Jones, Mr. Charlie Paris, and this was dated November 24, 2015, and Mr. William Simons. Approval of the legal fees and expenses to reimburse Rhonda Stubblefield, certified court reporter. This is after the judge said, hey, she did her job. We'll get into was it right to pay later. Judge Bradley's court reporter Rhonda Stubblefield was sued in the Fannin County court case. Fannin focused Rhonda Stubblefield. The basis of the lawsuit was her failure to produce a transcript. Mrs. Stubblefield retained an attorney. Blah, blah, blah. She prevailed. Because Mrs. Stubblefield's actions leading to the lawsuit were consistent with standing orders of the court and Georgia law. She did the standing orders of the court in Georgia law. As to access the transcript, she is not personally responsible for the legal fees and the expenses occurred in the defense of her case. Judge Bradley's making that statement. Judge Bradley has to defend that statement. Judge Bradley has to stand on that statement. But don't forget, she doesn't make that statement if Mark Thomason doesn't bring this frivolous lawsuit. Ms. Stubblefield has filed a counterclaim in the action that remains pending. She will be advised that she will not be reversed of any counterclaim that will be individually responsible. The judge did not pay her counterclaim lawsuit. She made Rhonda Stubblefield itemize out, strike out anything that was personal out of her legal bill before it was paid. The court did not pay her personal. So everywhere you're reading that, it was not paid. Her personal lawsuit of a counterclaim was not paid out of this check. Ms. Stubblefield was filed a counterclaim, all right, on her behalf. If, listen to this, folks, if you have any objections or questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Chief Judge Brenda Weaver. That was on November 24th. Robert Jones, Charlie Paris, and Bill Simons had an opportunity from this letter to contact the judge and say no, or I object, or whatever, and we can't find that. Folks, I'm going to end with that, okay? Today, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have the Georgia, official Georgia communication director on the line with us. Her name is Jennifer Hazelton, Donald Trump's campaign communication director in Georgia, and we're going to find out what's going on out there. I'm your host. We will come back and do part 4 on Monday. Tomorrow, we'll be at Sycamore Crossings in downtown Blue Ridge. You join us there. So part 4 will be Monday. So stay with us. We'll be back after these brief messages.